Hello, hello. Welcome to PTZOptics Live. We're live on the last Wednesday of every month. I'm joined by the wonderful Silka and Paul. How are you guys doing today?
Good. I'm so excited to be here. This is my first time on the live show, so it's an honor. Thank you for having me join you guys.
Welcome, Silka. Thank you for joining, everyone. Welcome to PTZ Optics Live. This is going to be a really fun show today. We're coming back from the International Broadcast Convention where we learned a lot, met a whole bunch of new companies and industry announcements we're going to share with you today. So really excited.
Yeah, let us know where you're watching at home in the chats. We're live on both YouTube as well as on Zoom. So take a look. Let us know where you're at currently, and we'll be right back after we go through some live show squares. So let's jump over to Paul as we'll go over a little bit of the live show squares for us. And what are we talking about today?
Yeah,
IBC.
and let us know where you're joining from and just do a little shout out. Today, we're going to be talking about the International Broadcast Convention and all the cool new updates that are happening in the live streaming and broadcast markets. That's going to be super exciting. Silka is our international sales channel manager, and she brought back all kinds of awesome insights for you guys. In a couple weeks, we'll be at the NAB show. So that will be the National Associations of Broadcast show in New York. So if you're on the East Coast or near New York City, definitely check that out. We'll be at booth 350. Next week, that will be Wednesday next week, October 1st, we're going to have our quarterly Worship Summit live. And so many of our customers come from houses of worship, and we put on this awesome event so that we're always here to answer questions, continual education. So many of our customers that are houses of worship have volunteers that learn a lot about the system, and then those volunteers move on in their careers. And so there's a lot of new volunteers that need to be trained all the time. And so we're dedicated to providing continual education for houses of worship through the Worship Summit. So check that out next Wednesday. You can also join our newsletter by scanning the QR code here. This is the PTZOptics Insiders newsletter, where you're going to get quarterly updates. Not a lot, just once or 4 times a year, right? Some updates on the major innovations and changes to the PTZOptics cameras. When we create a camera at PTZOptics, it has 5-year warranty, and in general, 5 years of updates and firmware continually improving over time. So this will keep you informed on all the new features that are available in your camera. And because of that, we want to remind you to update your firmware. We've made it very easy to do so. You can go into the web interface for your camera and just click a little button that says check for firmware updates. And when you click that button, it will let you know if there's a new firmware update available. And you can easily update your camera and unlock all these new features and functionality that might not have been there before. Today, we're going to be talking about some beta firmware updates, meaning these are available to anyone who would like to join the beta user group. And some of these improvements will be making auto tracking better, making automatic framing better. We're going to show you some new low light features. And so in our beta user group, you can join that. You can give feedback directly to the engineers that are doing the research and development to improve your camera. And oftentimes we can get your feature requests into the camera. So we'll be showing a little bit of that today. And at the end of every show, we have a giveaway. It's super fun. It's going to be a interactive quiz where you can test your knowledge of PTZOptics and what you've learned today. And if you win that contest, you will win a free month of PTZOptics Hive, our new cloud-based control software that allows you to control your camera from anywhere in the world. And really quickly, I want to take you behind the scenes so you can see how we produce this show. We get a lot of questions about what software are you using? How are you controlling the camera? Just so you watch this, the camera moves a little bit. That's a pan, right? And so let's show that really quickly. We have Shure SM7B cardioid dynamic vocal microphones. That's what I'm speaking to you on right now. That's what Jon has. That's what Silka has. And those are connected to a PreSonus Studio Live rack channel mixer. And it's a digital mixer. It actually supports remote control, so we can have remote audio mixing as needed. We're controlling the cameras and vMix with an Elgato Stream Deck. And the Stream Deck not only can control the cameras, but sometimes we like to use the PTZOptics SuperJoy as well, which is a joystick controller. And every once in a while, we'll share access to our audience via Hive. So if you'd like to control the cameras in the studio, let us know. I just would like to say hi to Michael Gabbard and just thank you for coming in from Minnesota. And Brian is mentioning that there's an audio delay, Mike. So maybe we can fix it. Maybe we can't. I guess we'll find out. The cameras today is we have the PTZOptics Move 4K. And we're using the PTZOptics Studio 4K cameras. And recently what we've been doing is we have been showing the little tag so you know when any camera is on, what camera we're using so you can get an idea of the video quality. We're using vMix and vMix Social today to produce the show. And then we have our wonderful producer, Mike, who's streaming to YouTube. We're streaming at 1080p at 6 megabits per second. The megabits is essentially the quality. That's what the upload speed is set to. And then we are leveraging Restream at 4 megabits per second. Restream is a service that will take one single stream and send it to LinkedIn, Facebook, and I think maybe Twitch and a few others. So that's the setup for today's live show.
Thank you so much, Paul. That was a lot.
Yeah.
That was great. Great job. All right. We have a lot to go over today, but what we like to do here at PTZOptics is always share your visions on our live shows. So if you don't know, use hashtag share your vision on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on X, whatever platform you use. On Facebook, we have a great Facebook community group. Use hashtag share your vision, and we will love to share your awesome production and your workflow here live. Today we have another video. I'm trying to do more videos for these. So we have Alan from Good Shepherd Lutheran. He made a great video showing off some of these new beta firmware features on the Move 4K. So let's take a look at Alan and his church and see what he's getting up to.
Testing. There we go. And let's see here. 4K is set to auto. Took a little bit of configuring to get that reconfigured and set back up. So, but Move 4K auto tracking with it set on the top instead of centered like it used to be, because it would used to put my face down in the center. Now it puts it up at the top. This is what we wanted. So it's never going to go search way up. And I could turn tilt lock on to hold at this level, but that won't work for me too good because I have steps here. And Pastor goes up, and he goes up to his lectern, but it's keeping my headspace just to where I wanted it. This was a feature crest that many of us have been looking for a long time. And the zoom is just about perfect on it. And of course, I can set the zoom whatever I want. Kind of like this setting right here. So as I walk around, I'm looking right at the camera now. I'll just keep watching it as I walk clear around here. There we go. Zoom in a little bit here. Auto track on. Hello. Bright sunshine outside, so now it'll track and follow me as I walk all the way up here. If I remember right, my settings before were medium, so it wasn't quite so sensitive that way. Walk all the way across here, look at the camera, wave. And I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. But I'm watching where I'm going this time. I'm not going to run into the pew. It's tracking me all the way around here. Move 4K beta software. Looks like it's working. Thank you.
Man, I love Alan so much. He is such a goofball. You could be a comedian, Alan. I hope you're watching this out there. Thank you for sending that video in. But that shows you just how we already are improving. And that's a feedback that we've gotten directly from our audience. They reached out to us, and our auto tracking previously was kind of locked in. It's focusing mainly on your head. So now you have the option to pick top, center, or bottom, which we'll go into a little bit. But doesn't that show how much improvement we've seen in our auto tracking already?
Yeah. Always love a video that ends and looks like it's working, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And it's amazing to hear, like, you open yourself up, people give us feedback, and we're always going to listen. So join our community group and join our Discord where you can get access to this beta firmware. And I think it's time to jump into a little IBC recap. Mike, I have my presentation pulled up here, but before we do that, I want to jump in and talk about a simple poll. So we're doing these polls on our live streams now, where we're going to ask you guys some questions, and 3 questions a live stream. And our first poll, which I have pulled up on my screen here, Mike, is do you use a joystick controller? So we're just curious, you guys at home that are watching, if you use a joystick controller for your PTZ cameras. And we just want to know exactly, is it a third-party controller? Is it one of the Huddle Cams or PTZOptics? Or you don't use a controller at all? And if you don't use a controller at all, let us know in the comments. We'd love to know if you're using like an application or some sort of software. Let us know, because we'd love to know more about how you're using PTZ cameras. Alrighty, so we'll give you some time to answer that question there. Alrighty, and I think we're about ready to jump in some IBC talk. So I wasn't able to go to Amsterdam, but I'm certainly jealous that you two over here were. So tell me a little bit about your experience. Maybe we could start at some of the fun stories and get into the business of it all.
Yeah, I mean, we had so much fun. I think we actually had a little picture that we wanted to share, just of like some of the behind the scenes stuff that we did. We got to do a boat tour, and there's a place. So this was actually my 3rd time going to Amsterdam for IBC. And the first time I was there, I discovered this amazing apple pie restaurant. And so, so Paul and I went there, and it was so delicious. And we just wanted to share that funny little picture too, because a bird hopped right up onto our table, and we kind of kicked off IBC, having delicious apple pie, starting off with, a couple funny moments. It's always so nice to be in the city. And then if you go to the next.
But do they only serve apple pie at this restaurant?
They have other things too, but they have like
pies?
Thousands of 5-star reviews for the apple pie specifically.
Really? Okay.
So if you ever go, if anyone's ever thinking about going to IBC, definitely check out Winkle. That's where,
okay.
Probably pronouncing it wrong, but that's where you can get this.
It's Winkle.
I think it's Winkle too.
Winkle, yeah.
Oh gosh. I didn't know that photo made it onto
Yeah, we're getting some. Mr. Stream Deck is in the house. Hello, Anthony. Thank you for joining us. And he does use presets in a control surface to answer your question, John.
Oh, okay. That's great. Thank you, Anthony.
But yeah, IBC is such a great show. There's really folks from all over the globe who fly in to make up what is, the International Broadcast Convention. And it's so great to be a part of that community. Right next to us was vMix, but across from us was that company Massive, who has the massive effing files. And there's a mixture of brand new AI startups and really traditional broadcast companies that are like literally still making satellites and things like that. So, but that last picture right there was oftentimes what'll happen. And thank you for everyone who came up. This is Sam Woodward, who was a customer during the pandemic and helped his church start live streaming. And he's working at Christ Church in England. And it's just great to meet people who, basically we were able to help them get started live streaming at a time when they really needed help. And then, we're all still here, right? So we're all still part of this community and this broadcast market, I guess you could call it, our industry. And here we are just getting to know some of our customers a little better.
Yeah, I thought that moment was really heartwarming. And I think that's also part of what makes going to trade shows sometimes so rewarding too. I had not the same experience at all by any means, but somebody came up to me that said last year I recommended the Superjoy to them, and they came up to me and they were passing by and they saw us and they just popped in. They're like, I just wanted to say thank you. The Superjoy has been awesome. I've been really happy with it. It's great quality. And those are the types of things that, it's like, aside from all the meetings that we have at shows, it's like those people that have been impacted in such a positive way. It's always really, really nice to get that feedback.
I agree. And we really are a company that provides a lot of educational support along with the product. So that's what I hear a lot over and over again, that it's like, it's great that you have all this awesome products that are continually getting better, but the community that is surrounding it and people helping each other, because there's a lot more than just a robotic camera that makes up, something like a live stream for a church, right? There's other pieces involved, whether it's vMix or Stream Deck or a projector system or Pro Presenter, bringing all those things together and then having a community of people who are doing the same things and then seeing each other and saying, thank you, that really helped. And it made a difference because I had someone I could call, whether it's our award-winning, customer support who are constantly helping people, or the people that they work with, like you, Silk, on a daily basis.
And the Superjoy, I think, is such a great example of that too, because we took all of the feedback from our community and we packed all those feature requests that we got into that joystick. So really, when we get people saying we love the Superjoy, it's a big thank you to everybody who's watching today too for giving us all those feature requests and things that they wanted us to bake into it. So, so Jon, you just had a picture up. I just wanted to go back to that. That's Gus from Netgear. So actually, Paul, kind of what you're talking about, the partnerships too. He created a song about trade shows.
Yeah, he did.
He posted it on his LinkedIn. And I was blown away. He's a creative genius and he has a really great singing voice. We thought maybe we could play a small clip of that just to show a little bit of the spirit of IBC. Were we able to get that? Or awesome. Okay.
Oh, we have it.
I'm like, hold on, maybe I'm not jumping the gun here.
Yeah, let's take a listen.
I tried to write a song about trade shows and the magic that happens when we're there. Here it goes. Suitcase wheels on the expo floor, badges swinging through the door, lights and screens, immersive dreams, but I'm here for something more. Saw my old maid by the LED wall, felt like no time passed at all. Forget the gear, how's life, my dear? Time flies when we're in the hall. 'Cause at the show is where the stories begin. Not just a tag, but the people within, sharing our lives in fiber and frames, handshakes, heartbeats, faces to the names, from bag to slides.
That
Wow.
was stunning. Like,
I know.
Wow. I'm
What a
like
voice.
thoroughly impressed by that. Like, I was expecting like an EDM song, like something goofy. That was pure singer-songwriter. That was beautiful. He's a great voice.
Yeah. And I think he really captured that feeling, that partnership, that those relationships, the community
Yeah.
so well in that song.
Yeah, I agree.
I was expecting something so goofy. I'm like touched by that. I was like, wow, like he actually took his time and wrote something that was very meaningful. That was beautiful. Wow. Paul, I saw you had some vMix interactions here, as you always do whenever you see those
I always like to
fellas.
drop by. vMix is on 29 now. I've always been a big vMix fan. We're using it in multiple areas right now to do this production. vMix made some really big announcements, starting with vMix OMT, which is called Open Media Transport. It's similar to NDI. You could even say it's an alternative to NDI. It is open source. A lot of people don't realize NDI is not open source. It is royalty free in some cases. In some cases they charge. In some cases they don't charge. So NDI costs a lot of money for hardware vendors and some software vendors to use. And vMix said, I think we should all play fairly here. We're going to make an open source version. A lot of people think NDI is open source. It's not. OMT is open source, fully open source. They will never, ever charge for it. And so vMix thought, maybe it's time to have an alternative to NDI that's completely free for anyone to integrate. And so our engineers were like, wow, this is interesting. It's only been out for a couple weeks. It takes hardware vendors years to move to an IP platform like OMT. There is no, I'll say, NDI has NDI and NDI HX, which is the high efficiency, low bitrate compressed version. OMT does not have that yet. Maybe they will. We'll see how popular it is. So that was interesting because it's like, oh, this could change the game. Like NDI has been out for almost 10 years. It was like 2015, 2016. It took like several years for people to even take it seriously. I was in the industry when it announced and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. What is that? And then I think we were one of the early adopters of NDI, and here we are 10 years later, and It's very prevalent in our industry.
Yeah.
I wonder what will happen in 5 years, in 10 years with OMT truly being free, truly being open source, and having a lot of similarities to NDI, meaning discoverability, IP connectivity, high quality video. And the cool thing about true open source is that anyone can contribute. It's very powerful from like a community, grassroots. Anyone can download it. Anyone can see what it is. It's not a black box. It's not copywritten and protected. So it's very, very interesting. In addition, vMix now supports 8 channels of overlay.
Oh, wow.
And they also made some interesting updates to their instant replay and a couple other things. So was very impressed with vMix's announcements.
Yeah.
So is that like an application as well, or do you need vMix to use that OMT?
So it's an open source transport protocol.
Okay, there's no
So
application.
there's no
associated
app.
with it or
I don't,
anything?
and that's an interesting difference too, because one of the things that made NDI successful is the tools.
Yes, exactly.
So they have a bunch of tools. I don't think there's, as far as I know, any free OMT tools. I wouldn't be surprised if in 1 year from now there was a set of tools, because it's open source, so anyone can make
Made by
them.
the audience, yeah.
I think somebody made an OMT tool already that is kind of, this is one of those things, a community building, like posting, oh, look what I made, oh, look what I made kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. One of the cool things about going to trade shows is when you just walk by a booth and you see they have one of your cameras, right?
Yeah.
So isn't that always exciting whenever you see that combined with the Teradek or another piece of hardware or a Nano Cosmos? Let's see what else you guys have in here. Magewell, anything?
Magewell.
Anything exciting from Magewell? Any good story?
Well, they had we actually had their Director 1 at our booth, and so we were kind of showcasing a complete solution there. The Director 1 is great because it combines multi-input switching, graphics, recording, monitoring. Paul, I think you called it like a mini production in a box.
Yeah,
I
I love
like
these things. There's a big difference between vMix and what these offer, but I am such a huge fan of the Director Mini and now the Director 1. I think the Director 1 has a larger screen, more input capacity. These little devices, like it's like an iPad almost, a little thicker, but it's got like HDMI inputs for cameras, and it has a Ethernet port for giving you the ability to bring NDI sources in. It has the ability to record. It has the ability to stream. It has the ability to do instant replay. So a lot of tons of cool stuff. I think you can even have an iPad connected to it so you can draw on the video. There's an integrated cellular connection so that you can stream from anywhere, even if you don't have internet connection. HDMI outputs. So this little tiny thing is packed with so much functionality. I mean, literally 5 to 10 years ago, you would need a rack full of equipment to do all of this stuff. Yeah. And they've packed it down in this tiny little thing. It's the equivalent of like what an iPad did to computing. This is doing to live streaming and production gear.
Yeah, that's so interesting. When I worked at Livestream, we sold like one of the earliest live streaming computers, and it was the size of this whole monitor in front of me. It had a built-in screen and everything, but it weighed like 25 pounds. Like it was a tank. It was huge. I mean, to see this is like 1/10 of the size.
This is rugged too.
Yeah.
Those machines, you could, if you hit the screen, it would break or whatever. This thing is rugged.
I love that. That's exciting.
Fits in your pocket, fits in your bag. I mean, it's the whole 9 yards. I've been using the YOLO box, which is similar to this, quite a lot. Really big fan. I think it's perfect for entry-level live streamers. Yeah. There's a certain point where you go, okay, I need vMix, or I need a TriCaster, or I'm doing something more advanced than this thing's capable of. But I think like 80 to 90% of people can get what they need for their basic sports stream, House of Worship stream with this little box, dedicated, no Windows updates. I love it.
That's amazing. All right, let's see what else we have. Stop by Dante. If you don't know, we have a camera called the Link 4K, which is a Dante AVH integrated. Anything new over at Dante? Anything exciting over at the Dante world?
I thought that the Dante Connect tools and the Dante Director tools were very interesting. Dante plays a really important role in Pro AV, especially for audio, but now they have video available as well. So you can manage your audio and your video all on one IP network. And they have a lot of great tools for expansion. So if you're a Pro AV company and you have 20 rooms to manage or 50 rooms to manage, or if you're a stadium and you have hundreds of microphones and you need to route them to different areas, they have this matrix-like controller that allows you to set up presets. So you can say, when the baseball team is home, and then I want to have the microphones from the dugout plus this, and just all this functionality and flexibility with their IP systems. It's very exciting to see what they're doing. And then adding video on top. The PTZOptics Link 4K cameras, they can output Dante video over AVH. So that's their high efficiency video platform. But it also can output 2 channels of Dante audio. So both left and right channels of audio can come through the PTZOptics camera. It can also, this is a lot of people don't know this, and this is my understanding, is that it can also output audio. So you can send audio to a PTZOptics camera and output it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Via Dante. So Dante is very flexible. When you have Dante in a camera, not only can you bring video into the system, but you can mix audio and video synchronized all to the same master clock, or they call it the clock leader, if you will. And so every single audio, every single camera, all synchronized, which is really important when you start to show cameras and video on a large screen, for example. But the ability to also send audio in and out of a camera makes it not just a video encoder, but also an audio encoder and decoder. There's a lot of functionality built into the Link 4K cameras.
Yeah, it's a strong camera. So, Silka, we have a couple shots of you here at the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you can't remember this exact conversation, but
I can, because
okay.
that's Marty. So he's one of our distributors based out of Amsterdam.
Okay.
So he came by to our booth and was just talking to us a little bit about what's new. It's always great to see him. And so him and his brother run a distribution company. And they've been doing a great job. Their business has been growing. So it was a great conversation. And then you also see the little slideshow there of Claudia and Alex. This was their first time with PTZOptics at IBC. So it's also really exciting to see our team grow. It was great to have some fresh perspectives at the show. Really awesome to get to spend time with them as well. And so that little selfie that we took, just like a happy memory of our first time all together at IBC.
Yeah, it's amazing. Looks busy too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, Paul. Next up, we have a little segment from you all about AI. I know it's hard to ignore this, but tell us a little bit about AI at IBC.
So IBC had an entire hall dedicated to AI, and it was basically AI being used for every type of video production and broadcast that was reasonable, right? Like I walked up to a microphone, and the guy was like, "Watch this," and he was like, "Insert Rolling Stones, Give Me Shelter into the lower third," and so it literally took audio, fed it into a large language model. The audio was decoded into text, and then it knew to insert it into the graphic. And I'm like, that's pretty cool, but couldn't a human just do that? You know what I mean? Like, it was a little bit of that's cool, but is it realistic? I also can use my hands too. My hands still work. I know how to type. But if you're a super busy director, and there's have you ever seen the Newsroom or something like that, where there's all these people and you're the director, and if you could just be change segment B or whatever, it's like Alexa almost for live production software. So I like where it's headed. This picture here is a one-stop audio AI solution for content localization. So for example, what that's doing is saying, here's a piece of content, I'm going to translate it to Spanish, French, German,
That's cool.
all these different things. So there's a lot of that. I saw the next one here is, John, this is the one I wanted to introduce you to, Magnify. This one blew my mind.
Me too.
So essentially you can live stream to it, and it'll in real time start capturing goals. It'll start capturing scores. And then as a post-production, social media manager, you could be like, give me every goal. It does ball tracking too, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
And stitch it into 9:16 for social, post it to my social in English, but also post it in Portuguese, Spanish, French, and German in one click. Just crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, it was really cool. We got a demo at the show. The way they have kind of a rule-based automated workflow. because you can create rules like you said, like every soccer shot that there was in the game, and then it creates a little highlight reel, or like every penalty. Now you get exactly what you're looking for. And Alex and I have actually been working with a basketball organization in Korea, and they just asked us. They want to use 4 of our PTZ cameras, and they just asked us for some type of like highlight AI company recommendation.
Wow.
I was like, well, it's really cool being able to see this new technology at the show and then provide a complete solution or like a recommendation to make that project so much better.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The timing was impeccable.
Yeah, right? That's incredible. Wow. That's really exciting. So like you're saying, like, especially when you brought up the lower thirds, it's like you always remember when you mess up spelling on a lower third. And it's like, how many times is that going to happen with AI, right? So we are in the early stages still, and everyone's going to have their own iteration, or they're going to be borrowing from each other. So it's exciting to see who kind of steps out and becomes the leader in these different markets. Alrighty, so NDI, I know NDI 6 is coming to our Move 4K camera. We'll talk a little bit about that. But anything new or exciting at the NDI world with new tech?
Yeah, so NDI 6.3 is in beta still. So 6.2, I believe, is what they were showing. The big thing is there's a new discovery server. And when that discovery server is running, we have the ability to discover. So discovery has been built into NDI since the beginning, right? So that's the big thing that what it makes it allows you to do. You can discover all the video sources on your network. That's great. Now you can discover receivers as well. And so what is a receiver? So right now we have 2 big displays in front of us. They are using what's called a decoder. They're decoding NDI and outputting HDMI. And that's a decoder. And so technically that's a receiver. It receives NDI. Because you can now discover receivers on your network, you can now control them as well. So you could imagine a bigger company might have hundreds of cameras and hundreds of receivers, right? So senders and receivers, if you will. You might have a receiver in your lobby that is being used for digital signage. Well, now you can easily just change the content on any of those receivers. You can also now, using NDI Bridge, connect multiple local area networks together. So whether you are on one network or another, you are able to do that. NDI Studio Monitor, of course, is one of the most popular tools for displaying NDI. NDI Studio Monitor is technically a receiver. So it receives the NDI video. And then another cool tool that you might not have known about, I think it's been out for a little bit now, but it's called the router. And what this does is it allows you to switch. So this router tool kind of sits in between your NDI sources and the NDI receivers and allows you to do switching and routing very easily.
Very exciting. So we also have a little Hive award here.
Yes, so PTZOptics Hive won Best of Show at IBC.
Very exciting. I wouldn't call that little, John.
Oh, well,
call it big. A big award.
Being modest. I'm being modest here. Always underplay your successes. And then what do you guys got here? A little wrap up, little final photo. What's on your blazer there you're pointing to? Do you remember? It's a little NDI logo, maybe? Oh, I don't have it up. There it is.
There. Oh,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
Okay. So we really loved our location. We were, as Paul mentioned earlier, we were right near vMix. We were right near the entrances. We got a ton of traffic. And so this is our proud, exciting moment. We rebooked the exact same location for next year.
Oh, okay.
And so we all have little pins that say, I rebooked IBC. So
that's
come back
really sweet.
and see us next year in 2026.
Oh,
I'll also
nice.
mention, Michael is saying we need a video on Dante and feeding audio through the cameras. We really should make a video on that. We should take note of that. In addition, would that work using NDI? I'd have to check that. We have to write that one down. Dante does some special things with audio. I don't know if NDI can also do those things.
Not that I've heard.
Not that I'm aware of. No, I know that you can. So like if you have a PTZOptics camera and you connect audio into it, the audio on the receiver will receive it. But the unique thing with Dante, with what they have with their Dante controller, is you can route audio any which way, and you can actually send audio back to the PTZOptics camera, and it'll come out the audio out. See that audio output on that port?
Yeah.
It'll actually decode Dante audio and output it. I don't think you can do that with NDI.
Yeah, no, not that I'm aware of. Great for studio management. Like you said, I mean, I was hanging out with Turtle. I went to some different trade shows as well. And Turtle AV has a lot of different encoders and decoders for Dante. And they're basically everywhere. Every major stadium has Dante integrations. Most, big, massive production spaces have Dante audio. So the Link 4K is your PTZ camera for Dante integration. Alrighty, we have one question here. Is that from Zoom? How much of my network bandwidth does each PTZ camera take? I have 4 cameras over 1 gigabyte network, and the network, it's cut off.
Let me see if I can see more.
He's saying the network is slow and not
the network
responsive.
can sometimes feel slow and not responsive. So essentially, this is a good question. I'm going to take a minute to explain this. So essentially, just because you have 4 cameras doesn't mean that what the question is about bit rate. So every camera can be set to different bit rates. You can have one camera set to 2 megabits per second. You could have one set to 200 megabits per second. So it's not standard. Now, when they ship out of the factory, I'm going to guess that each one is at like 12 megabits per second. Okay. 1 gigabit is 1,000 megabits, right? And something you need to think about because your computer probably has a gigabit network switch connection. So it can only handle 1,000 megabits, no more than that. Unless you have a 10 gigabit switch, but most is a gigabit.
Yep.
So if you're having issues with bandwidth, you need to bring down the bit rate. And it's oftentimes good to think about where are you sending this video. So for example, like Zoom uses like 2 megabits per second, like 2 to maybe 4 megabits per second. YouTube, like what we're streaming to YouTube right now, we do a higher quality at 6 megabits per second. But surprisingly, like NDI, like full bandwidth is like 200 megabits per second. So like if you're using NDI at a very high bit rate, they're doing that because they want to give you the highest quality possible. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like way more than most people need for like YouTube streaming.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you're doing like a cinematic like movie and maybe you do need that. But just wanted to throw that out there. It has to do with the bit rate. Maybe we could show that, John, on the screen.
Yeah, Mike, if you could cut to the screen here. So right here is where you'll see the standard bit rate that the camera is currently set to, but you can go in and manually change this to whatever bit rate you'd like. So obviously there's your resolution. You can obviously go in and change, but there's also the bit rate, which is exactly what Paul's mentioning. Something also to not forget about is the cabling. Your Ethernet cables, some of them are not for a full gigabyte. Some are 500, some are up to 750. So if you really want a full gig, then you also should check your cabling and make sure that's the proper cabling as well. So Mike said he's got another question. Let's see. Is the Link 4K capable of Hive? So integrating it into Hive.
So yes, it definitely is. The Link 4K. So one of the things that's still in beta, but is working, is almost every camera that we have has beta firmware that will connect it directly to Hive. So it's Hive linked, meaning no computer is necessary to control it through the cloud. All cameras, even PTZOptics Gen 2 cameras, can be connected to Hive if the Hive is running on a Windows or Mac computer local to your network. So the Hive linking requires the latest firmware, but we do have that available for the Link 4K, right, John?
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't be able to use NDI in particular because it's the Link camera for Dante, but RTSP, you'd be able to bring in really any PTZ camera that can bring in via RTSP. So yeah, you should be able to bring in the Link camera as well, just not over NDI. Alrighty, let's go back to my slideshow here because we have one award that also came out of IBC. It says Infocom there, but that's my fault making this slide. But tell us a little bit about the SimpleTrack 3. There's some good interactions with it. You guys do some demos on the show floor, and you guys also got an award out of the show. It's exciting.
Yeah, it was really cool because we got to bring up SimpleTrack 3 came over to PTZOptics. We brought over the 5-year warranty. We brought over a really sleek new firmware. And the web interface looks great. So we were able to show the thing that makes the SimpleTrack 3 such a great solution for tech and learning is that you have the ability to create different zones. So you can have a tracking zone. The professor can walk back and forth. Students watching virtually will feel, like the professor is dynamic, they're engaging, they feel like they're right there in the room. And then you also have blocking zones, because a lot of times student privacy, reasons, you don't want students on camera. So you can actually block out the parts of the room where the students are. You've got this great tracking area where the camera will track the professor back and forth. And then there's also a zone called a preset zone. And this is because a lot of times in education, you'll have a whiteboard or some type of projector, maybe where the professor is like showcasing content. And when the students are looking at that, you don't want the professor to be making lots of little movements and the camera's looking jerky. So what it does is it goes right to that preset zone and creates a nice steady shot of the presentation or the whiteboard or whatever it is. And so it really gives customization ability to the professor and allows them to really zone out the room they want. So it's not a surprise to me that we won another award on this.
Yeah, that's a great summary. So if you're looking for the best that PTZOptics has to offer for automation and customizing your automation, that's exactly where the SimpleTrack 3 lies. It's also Hive Link now, just like all of our cameras. Alrighty, now we're going to jump to poll number 2. I have that pulled up on my screen here, Mike. But the question is, what PTZOptics cameras do you own? Are you on our Gen 2 cameras? Do you have the Move SE or 1080p PTZ camera, or the 4K with the Move 4K? Or comment in YouTube or Zoom if you're using a different camera. So we're just curious a little bit about the cameras that you guys have at home. We want to learn a little bit more about these. So I'll leave this up for you at
StreamTech
YouTube.
is saying they're looking forward to upgrading their PTZOptics, but they didn't say what camera they have.
Oh, okay. This sounds like a Gen 2 then, most likely. Adding it to Hive, Anthony. Okay. It's exciting. We'll give some more time there. And then the rest of the show, we're going to jump into the new beta features on the Move 4K.
A lot of cool new stuff that we've
Lot
been
of new
working
stuff,
on.
Yep. All right, we'll give it a couple more seconds here. Mike, if you're getting any feedback on the YouTube polls, I'll see if I can pull it up here too as well. Okay, while they're putting the second poll in, I'll go over a little bit of the previous poll, which was, do you use a joystick controller and what brand? So it looks like the majority of people that are watching, 43%, are using the PTZOptics joystick and controller. About 30% are using a third-party controller, and about 30% also say that they aren't using a controller at all, or hardware controller, I should say. So that's exciting. It's kind of like split pretty evenly between the three.
Yeah, it looks like Brian has Move 4K.
3 of those.
Three of them.
Saw 6 Move SEs. That's exciting.
From Michael. And then Dale has 3 Gen 2 and 1 Move SE. And the Move SE really was meant to be an addition to the Gen 2, like almost a direct replacement. So it's okay to mix and match those pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, I think we can now jump over and talk about our latest new beta firmware. We'll go over that second poll when we get to the third one there and go over what you guys voted for. But I want to talk about these new beta firmwares we have. And I'll go in, the next slide will be about, in a couple slides, I'll show you exactly where to find these. But there's 2 different betas that we have. We have one that is for the brand new features that we're adding to the Move 4K. The Move SE also has an update as well, but we're mainly focusing on the Move 4K today. But there are 2 different versions of this firmware. So Mike, if you could show my screen, there's 2 different versions because we have a Hive Link specific firmware. So this is going to allow you to connect it and Hive Link your camera. You don't need to Hive Link your camera. This is specifically for linking it for remote setups. You want to send your camera out to a remote location, make it really easy to plug and play. That's where you'll use the Hive Link software and the beta firmware. And then if you're looking for just the latest and the newest features for the Move 4K, that's where you're going to go to just the standard beta firmware. So you'll learn a little bit more about what's on that new firmware in just a moment. But if you're looking to update to this beta firmware, it's basically 3 steps. You want to go to ptzoptics.com/beta, and that's going to allow you to join our community group. And then the community group will lead you to our Discord group. So a couple steps you have to get to that beta firmware, but it is definitely worth it. And I want to show you exactly why it's worth it. So join today and become one of our wonderful visionaries. But there's kind of main 3 big things I wanted to highlight from this firmware. First is kind of something that Paul was mentioning a little bit with NDI, We are now supporting NDI6 on the Move 4K. We also have a bright mode. So there's a couple new exposure options for the Move 4K that'll make it easier to just get ready and get set up, especially for those dark environments like in a house of worship. And then, of course, we're always listening, like we showed you in the video with Alan. We're always updating our auto tracking and trying to make it as best as possible.
And Jon, Bill is asking, does NDI 6 beta disable Hive? And I think you are making that distinction that essentially we have a beta with NDI 6 and automation and the bright mode, and then we have a different beta for Hive linked.
That's right.
Eventually, when they all go to production we're targeting February, all of it will be available in the production firmware. But because of beta, bug squashing, et cetera, they're separate.
Exactly, yeah. We want to make sure, because there are two different focuses, right? There's a focus on remote production with Hive Studio, so we want to make sure we have a different version for those who are really just dedicated in testing with that firmware, and then those who just want to test out, the automation and the new features that we've just added just to the base camera itself.
That was a really great question.
Yeah.
No,
That's a good
it's, I
question.
know, we don't want to make it confusing for you, so we want to make it as clear and as straightforward as possible. Alrighty, so last but not least, like I mentioned, there's automation improvements, but let's go into some of the other features that we're not going to fully spend time on. I just want to go down a list really quickly. So there's further configurations now with USB video. You can go in and make it either like a host USB camera if you want, or UVC if you want additional USB control. And then you also have the ability to actually change the output resolution for your USB for your USB PTZ camera. So this is great if you're integrating, for education, or if you're just using it for a quick plug and play in an office. Now you can even adjust the output resolution of the Move 4K camera. There's also some updated volume settings. So now you don't need to have a reboot when you adjust your input and output volume. So it makes it easier to kind of change that settings and keep moving forward. Staying on that G711 audio encoding. So we're adding additional compatibility for third-party softwares. A bunch of new audio additions. We're trying to make it easier to integrate with hardware directly plugged into the camera, or using NDI or other sources remotely. And then we're trying to make it even more detailed when it comes to white balance. So you now have the ability to more minutia to control with white balance. Instead of moving from 100, you're going to move individually via 20 increments. So that allows you to be a little bit more precise now with white balancing the Move 4K camera. And now also, finally but not least, we are OnVIF certified. So that's really exciting. We now follow all of OnVIF's Profile S requirements, which makes our Move 4K certified officially.
Yeah, it really kind of doubles the camera to being a production streaming camera to also being able to be integrated directly into almost any security camera system. So if you're a church, you don't have any security cameras in the sanctuary, well, now you do. Most network video recorders, right, and NVR systems support OnVIF. It is the supported software. There's a really great piece of software called the OnVIF Device Manager. We'll have to make a video about that. I've actually been waiting years to make this video because it has kind of worked in the background, but we never had it fully certified.
Yes,
Now we are fully certified and ready to support OnVIF connectivity with our cameras.
I know we're going to talk about some of these new features a little bit more too, but it's really exciting to see the evolution of the Move 4K. I know somebody asked me recently, describe PTZOptics in one word. I was like, oh gosh. And I thought of evolution because that is like the Move 4K is one of my favorite things to talk about, where how far we've come in 2 years. And here we are with a whole new list of brand new features and ways to continue to improve our core products. It's really exciting. And, just being here and seeing everything that we have in the pipeline is really exciting too. Because a lot of times you don't see that. You don't see continuous upgrades. Sometimes there's bug fixes, but cool new features that actually unlock new opportunities. Our product team has been doing such a great job.
Yeah, for sure.
Continuous improvement is what I always like to say. It's absolutely true. I mean, I don't want to throw shade against another company, but I will. I had someone come up to me and they were saying, hey, we were just looking at Panasonic's auto tracking, but they're asking us to upgrade for $1,000 to get their full automation. That's not anything that we've ever done at PTZOptics. We never charge for a firmware. We never charge for an update. Our web interface is free. These updates that we're improving with our automation and auto tracking, it's all free. You just have to update your camera and you'll be able to access it. So it's happening in real life. I'm not making
Yeah.
that up as like a marketing spin. Someone came to me about a week ago and was at the floor showing me exactly how much it would cost to upgrade. So you're not going to experience that with
Yeah.
PTZOptics.
All right. Well, maybe I should change the word from evolution, which I guess kind of makes you think of like apes, and I use the word improvement instead.
I love that. Yeah. You know, part of that improvement is also NDI 6, as Paul was mentioning a little bit when he got this tour, their new features. So there's a quick kind of overview of NDI 6. It's going to add better device discovery. So you can now easily monitor and manage your NDI devices even better than ever before. You're getting further compatibility across different workflows because there's broader support now with NDI 6, and even further encrypted streams now. So you'll have even safer workflows for your video. Specifically for the Move 4K.
Ooh, encrypted stream. Sorry,
Yeah.
didn't interrupt. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And honestly, it has taken a decade to get that, by the way. And people have been always had to throw in there, oh, you're using NDI on your network. Did you know it's totally unencrypted and it's completely discoverable by any kid who plugs in a computer and can discover the NDI sources on your network and view any video in any classroom? Like, I'm so glad that it's encrypted now. And then a lot of people don't know that NDI Discovery Server also allows you to create private groups of your NDI sources so that not anybody plugging into your network can see every single source on your network. So like NDI is great and it works, right? But finally it's encrypted. And only a couple years ago was it able to be actually like private. So keep in mind when you're playing with this stuff, maybe at your local church, it's okay. But like if you're working at a major corporation or something and testing NDI, it's discoverable by everyone on the network.
Yeah.
So now they're supporting encryption. I'd like to see how that actually works. And also with NDI Access Manager, you can now really control who can see what. And that took a while for NDI to develop, but it looks like, I just wanted to make a note, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that is a big deal.
That's huge. That's something we've taken seriously, especially with remote video with Hive Studio, where we have end-to-end encryption, and we made sure that your video stays safe and make sure it's only with those that you want to share access to. Alrighty, finally for NDI 6, we have an additional update for the Move 4K, which we now have an additional absolute position commands. So that's going to improve your compatibility with other third-party softwares. So really, we're buffing up everything when it comes to Nutek's NDI now that you have NDI 6. Alrighty, now this is exciting. So I did some recordings the past couple of days, so you'll see some GIFs here and there throughout the presentation. But there's two new exposure options that'll make it really easy for you to kind of switch and click on or continually use. So first things first is the bright mode, very straightforward. You turn on the bright mode. It's mainly for your very, very dim spaces. So if you have like a night service or a ceremony for your house of worship and you know that it's coming up, you can just switch over to that bright mode. You don't have to worry about, closing your aperture or going through all those manual settings. You can just click that on and go from there to handle those low light environments.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
A lot of our live events, will probably really appreciate that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that's making it really easy. And also a reminder to use our API. We have, complete open source of our commands for our cameras. So if you're interested in using these even outside of the web interface, you can do that as well. And even call commands to like our hardware, like our SuperJoy controller. And then one awesome new addition is one push exposure. So you might be used to this for white push, for one push for white balance, which basically means the camera reads your environment and then makes an exposure for your environment and your lighting conditions. Now it's going to do the same thing for your exposure. So much like the white balance, it's just going to press it once and it'll expose just like you saw there in the GIF to match your environment. So it makes it really easy. You can press this at any point, any time. It's also why I bring up, the HTTP commands on the SuperJoy. So you could program this onto a controller if you want, so that every time you change an environment really quickly, you can just tap it again. I know that happens a lot, especially when you move to like a close-up or you change positionings to a different angle that might be in a dark space. You might want to change exposure really quickly. Alrighty, moving on, we have a cool new feature. This is something that we talked about last stream on the Studio 4K cameras. It's super zoom. On the Studio 4K cameras, that also adds EPTZ, so you can kind of pan, tilt, and zoom around your environment with a fixed frame camera. But now, since we're talking about the Move 4K, I wanted to highlight how basically what this does is drop your camera down to 1080, and then it doubles your zoom power. So a 30x camera like we have in the corner, it'll allow you to zoom now to a 60x level zoom. And you'll see in this video that I'm about to show you guys exactly how this works and how it can benefit your production. So especially, there's a lot of people that use 4K cameras, but they're only live streaming 1080p. So this is a perfect instance for you. It's going to be worth it to upgrade to a 4K camera because you'll get further zoom out of it as well. Alrighty, Mike, let's jump into the video. And if you guys have any comments or thoughts afterwards, we can go through there. And again, don't forget, we're always live for your questions. So reach out if you have any questions. But Mike, let's look at this little video I made for the Super Zoom feature. Hey everybody, let's talk about Super Zoom. This is our latest new beta feature in our beta firmware, only on our 4K cameras, so the Studio 4K and our Move 4K. Today we're going to be talking about the Move 4K, which I have in the corner of the studio here. It's our 30x camera. It's got the greatest and brand new beta firmware, and part of that firmware is our Super Zoom feature. So if you don't know what Super Zoom is or where to find it, you'll first go to your dashboard, and then under Control, you'll see an option for mode, and then under zoom mode, you'll see the option for Super Zoom. So I currently have it enabled already, but you want to hit apply if you're applying this for the first time. The camera will reboot, and then you'll be up and running in the Super Zoom. So if you don't know, the Super Zoom basically takes your 4K camera, drops it down to 1080p, and then what it does is allow you to zoom in twice the distance. So you'll see now, if I go back to our main shot from our 30x camera, how much further I can zoom in with our presets. So if I jump into preset number 3, it'll immediately zoom in to the Studio 4K right in front of me here. So I just want to show you how much further now you can zoom in with Super Zoom, which is combining optical and digital zoom to keep you a great image, but allows you to zoom in even further. If I jump over to, you can get a little close up. Oh. Sorry, a little bit too close, a little bit too close. Let me zoom out again. Let me zoom out. So this is giving you kind of an idea and understanding of how this is done directly in our web interface. Now, if you want to see how else our amazing presets can operate and perform, well, then you can also look if I jump over to preset number 5. You'll see that when I select preset number 5, I've increased the speeds of my movements, and I've also even changed the exposure all the way to zoom across the room to show you our PTZOptics logo. Thanks for watching, and check out Super Zoom on the latest Move 4K beta firmware at PTZOptics.com/beta.
Nice job, Jon.
Yeah.
All right. I promise you won't have to look at me a couple more times in this live stream. Only a couple more seeing my face here front and center. But
Can we get as close as we did with the Super Zoom
Yeah,
again? Because that was
no.
great.
That's as close
Stay
as
away. I have no makeup on right now. So what do you guys think of Super Zoom? I mean, it's exciting to be able to get more. Like you said, a continuous improvement, get more out of your camera. And people always run into the issue where they buy a 12x camera or a 20x camera, and they're like, I wish I could just zoom in a little bit further, right?
Yeah.
I agree, especially when you're looking at it on a larger display too. That's when you really get the benefit of it, because our eyes can't see. Sometimes these cameras have more resolution than our eyes can actually handle.
Yeah.
So as we get older, whatever, looking at things on larger screens, easier to see. So the further you can enhance those images in baseball and sports analytics, in healthcare, when you really want to see those details. It's surprising, like even in like an operating room, the camera might not be that far from the operation, but like you really need to zoom in tightly. And the focus, as you can see, is really good.
Yeah. It's incredibly fast and sharp focus. And another thing I wanted to mention too about the one push exposure is that you could really use that when you're triggering presets. Some people don't want to exactly remember the exposure settings. So if you zoom into a new area and it's not the proper exposure, you can just press that and it'll immediately change your exposure. You don't have to constantly worrying about if it's on auto, it might constantly be switching or changing. So that one push exposure really could be great for you at home there. Alrighty, so now we're going to get into some of the meat here when it comes to automation improvements on your camera. So if you aren't using auto tracking, I highly recommend to check out the Move 4K's auto tracking. And now we're adding a bunch of new features that are going to make it even easier for you to use and fine tune. So first things first, there's a tilt lock, which basically allows you to use auto tracking without the camera tilting up and down.
That's a big deal.
That makes it really easy, especially if you have the camera at like eye height, or you never wanted to kind of move up and down when someone's walking away from the camera. That's been something that people have requested from us. And then there's also vertical composition. So you can select your top, like I said, your center, or your bottom. So a lot of people want to track your entire body. Some people were complaining that there was maybe too much headroom if they were tracking a full body, or they're just doing head and shoulders. So now when you set that to top, it'll make sure that your head is always at the top of frame when you're auto tracking.
Vertical composition, I feel like there's an easier, better marketing way to explain this, because essentially what this is saying is, where do you want the head to be?
Yeah.
Of the person you're suggesting. So I think there's a better, that's more of an engineering term. Maybe we could change that or update it, because essentially the problem is that there was too much headroom on the auto tracking. And if you're watching this, and you had an auto track, you probably knew that. And so this is part of that continual improvement that we're doing. This is probably the most asked for feature, wouldn't you say, John?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of this, because and vertical composition, like, to me, that doesn't explain really what this is, to be honest with you.
It wouldn't to me either.
It's like, what is vertical composition? We need to look at that from a marketing perspective and make this clearer. But just trust us.
Headlock.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to think of a better term on the spot here. But what if you have a headroom problem and you want the head to be at the top of the vertical composition of the frame? You want top.
Yeah.
The top
section. That makes more sense.
I think it becomes from originally it came out of our horizontal composition. So if you show the web interface here, Mike.
I see.
It's because it's kind of aligned with what we're used to, which is left, center, or right for composition.
So you could have the subject in the left side of the frame, or the right side of the frame, but where vertical composition, what was it? Was that just didn't exist, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Before.
Now that allows you to select.
It was
top,
always
center. Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. So when it was a head and shoulder shot, that was just giving the little people too much headroom that they didn't need. So that allows you to have further customization when it comes to our auto tracking, which is really going to add a lot now, because you can really switch between different modes. I would love to see when someone uses like the bottom tracking.
I was wondering that too.
What use case would they be using? Are they showing like something above them, right? So they're like selling something. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what that might be.
Hot air balloon sales.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Something
or
that
perhaps
flies.
like imagine this just for a second. I know it's weird, but like, if you keep in mind that there's also like the close up, wide, and then like, I guess, like very wide composition setting. So if you have the very wide composition setting and you want the face at the bottom, you might have like a humongous projector behind you or something like that.
Like a massive presentation behind you, like an Apple style or Microsoft style presentation.
Or maybe even a sports commentator, because if you want to see the field behind you, like, you know what I mean? Like,
interesting.
Then you could be towards the bottom and you could see.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Well, you at home watching, let us know what you would use for the bottom vertical composition. Or if you have a good name for vertical composition, we would also take 3 marketing points as well for that. Another cool thing is a lot of you have the SuperJoy controller, or you use presets all the time in our web interface. Now there's a preset, or 2 presets actually, 150 and 151, where you can turn on auto tracking and then turn it off. So that makes it really easy if you are using like a serial joystick, you don't have access to your web browser, and you don't want to like manually go through the settings. You can easily use that. And you can even use your IR remote to trigger a preset like 150 or 151.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. Makes it really easy to jump in, turn it on and off. Another cool feature we're adding to the auto framing mode. So if you don't know, our automation has both auto framing and auto tracking. Auto framing basically frames a bunch of individuals together in one space or one shot. And now, instead of zooming out to a default position, it's going to zoom out and frame every person in the shot and make sure that it's zooming out properly to keep everyone in frame and not just pulling out to the widest home position that it would go to previously.
Yeah, that's helpful. And then the other big thing is the bounding boxes around the subjects. I don't know if you want to show that, John.
Yeah, we could turn it on directly here.
Look at that. You got a
funny little video after this here.
But if auto framing or auto tracking, either way, as long as you have multi-target select on, when you turn this on, it puts a box around every single person. And we made this feature request to have see that there's a little number over each person's head? You can actually click the number that you want to track. So you click number 1, you can click number 2, you can click number 3. I think it's at the preset button, John. So if you click 2, you've essentially selected me. See that? Yep. And there's a nice big 2 over the box over my head, so you can see that clearly.
And I'm on a medium close-up, so you can see why it zoomed in immediately on Paul once I selected him.
Yeah.
I wanted to see the bottom composition for the...
Yeah, let's turn it on and off again then. That's funny. To really test it out. That's Paul with a... That's so funny.
So,
all right, so we'll leave it.
Do the long shot.
We could do a long shot and vertical composition on the bottom, and then we'll keep you in the center then. All right, so we'll turn auto tracking back on.
The beta firmware, by the way, also there's a new firmware that is making turning off and on auto tracking easier.
So right there, it's locked in. You can see from the initial movement. It's keeping so much headroom as we want for this particular scenario.
For this shot.
So let's have you walk up and
do a little walkabout.
Yeah, there's another Move 4K
yeah, I'm
over
actually
here.
kind of interested to see what this is.
So it's giving you so much headspace now.
Yeah. I need space for the ideas to ruminate. I like this. Okay, cool.
Well, that worked really
Can
well.
you actually, just since we did that, can you do the top? Because now I'm just interested to see what because this is like the opposite of the problem we're trying to solve.
We're showing the complete opposite.
Can we show the okay? So let's go to top, center, and then not long shot. Let's do
we'll do it.
We're having too much fun with this.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. This is where you really get to fine tune and figure out exactly how you want to use our automation.
Yeah. Now, I'll also mention, by the way, my favorite option of this is the dynamic zoom.
Yeah.
So, but this is the medium.
Oh, yep. For horizontal. Yeah, without tilt lock. That's why.
Yeah, let's turn the
All right, let's turn it off one more time.
Turn it on to the vertical should be top. Yeah. You're gonna turn tilt lock on too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Producer in the back is recommending tilt lock, so let's try it out.
All right.
Yeah, at the end of our demo, we have to be able to say it's working, just like Alan did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, looks like it's working. I watched that video too many times, as you can tell.
I just love that ending.
He's so funny.
Okay, here we go. So this was the big thing, and this box right here. There we go. Oh, that's the problem with the top.
All right, let's see one more time.
Let's do a little wider shot.
I'll do dynamic zoom
do
so we can adjust it on the fly. I'll apply it again. Oh, you gotta turn it on to apply it. There we go. And we'll go back on Mr. Paul here in the center. Alrighty, I should have control over zoom as well.
There we go. Okay. So now John should have full control over.
Oh, there we go. I see it.
As well as the ability to track me the whole time. So now let's see how fast I can go.
I love this part too.
So
oh yeah, it's doing a great job.
It's doing a much better job of the headroom. Like that's a comfortable amount of headroom. John can obviously zoom it in and out as he needs to. So, cool.
It's working.
It's working.
Well, looks like it's working, as Alan would say. Awesome. So that's just a quick little demo. Obviously, it takes time to figure out exactly what you need for automation in your space. So definitely take a look at these new features. You can go to PTZOptics.com/beta if you want to learn more about these awesome new automation updates. I have a goofy little slide that I just added because I'm always curious of trying to break automation and auto tracking. And I love the idea of someone literally going off frame or behind something or being hidden. So I wanted to test a little bit of a timeout. So we have curtains blocking our green screen here. And you can see just how it'll pick you up immediately. Depending on how much of a timeout you have, you can set a timeout in auto tracking. Basically, if it's like a second or two, I think ours was currently set to about 5 seconds. So no shenanigans happening here. I just recorded this yesterday. You can go behind something and it'll pull out and remember a little bit about your body shape, the shape of your head. It's not facial tracking. People always ask us that. They're like, are you stealing my identity? Like, how do you know what I look like? It's like, no, we're not recording or keeping any information. We're tracking, the shape of your body and the positioning of your head and face and shoulders. Alrighty, we're almost wrapping up here, but there's a small little feature that some of you might not know about that we've now added for high quality snapshots, which allows you to instantly capture a screenshot or a still image from your video. So this could be used for documentation. Are you just trying to kind of explain exactly what you're trying to showcase on a video, but just take a quick image of it? For social media, if you want to share out images from your camera, you don't have to worry about, going in and trying to grab a still from a video after the fact. You can always pull a snapshot. Or if you're like an engineer or an installer and you want to just take a picture really quickly of the install that you just did from the camera's point of view, you don't have to worry about, trying to pull in a video feed and downloading it or using vMix. You can just instantly use our snapshot. So this isn't a button or a feature inside of the web interface particular, or it's not on the SuperJoy. This is an API command, and I made a little bit of a video that Mike will play right now to show you exactly how to use this API command. Hey there, I'm going to quickly show you a brand new little feature that's kind of hidden behind the scenes. If you don't use our API, or if you don't know, PTZOptics cameras all have an open API where you can access and go in and really kind of mess around with some of the finer details in the settings and even build your own applications as well. So we have a lot of great documentation all about that. If you go to your specific camera and then under documentation, you can find more about our API. But I'm going to show you a little bit about snapshot mode. So we have the brand new firmware here. I'm in the studio testing out our Move 4K beta firmware. And what I want to highlight is our snapshot mode. So this is now a new feature that allows you to take and pull an image from your video. So whether you want a stream 1 image or a stream 2 image, you can do that by calling this HTTP command. Alrighty, so it'll have the IP address of the exact camera right where you see IP address, so you enter that in for your IP, and then when you put that into a browser, as I'll show you here, that's our preview and our web interface. And I'll go over to a browser, you can see that it's pulling an image directly into our browser. So there you go, you can refresh and you can see how it pulls in an image directly. Like I'll raise my hand up here now, and then you'll see that image pulled in directly there. So you can right click and save an image that way. This is really great if you want to hop in and just grab an image from your video source, if you want to use it to create a training model or even dive deeper into the security of a space. If you want to just get a quick image instead of pulling up your web interface, you can always have this command ready to go. And then you can even use that and integrate it into your own application as well. It's endless from there. There's a lot of opportunity you have to kind of dive in and explore all of our API features. So that is the snapshot mode. And just like that, you can instantly refresh and create a new snapshot. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, I think that's super cool. Sports photography comes to mind.
Oh, yeah.
But also, that's also used in AI quite a lot. The ability to take a snapshot and then send it to the AI and say, hey, what are you seeing in this image? Is there a cat? Is there a dog?
Yeah.
What are you seeing? So because it's built into an API, it's something that you're going to see built into a lot of software. So our software development partners, particularly some of the AI companies that we've been talking to, need to be able to take high quality snapshots, even in healthcare and things of that nature.
Yeah, it makes it really easy. You can just have it basically the same way you have your camera pulled up via an IP address. You can just keep refreshing that window. If you have the HTTP authentication, you'll have to put in your login and password. But once you do that, you can keep refreshing and it'll last for a while. Alrighty, I know you guys want to get to the trivia. We'll get to there in just a minute. There's a couple more things. I want to remind everyone that all of our cameras are now Hive linked. I don't have the SimpleTrack 3 on here, but it's also Hive linked as well. So that includes our 4K cameras, the 1080p Move SE cameras as well, or the Studio series of cameras. This allows you to kind of instantly connect your camera and set it up within about 60 seconds once you connect it via Ethernet. Alrighty, and with this new beta firmware, we're adding additional voice tracking support, and what that means is we have some additional partners like Epiphan and InnoGenie that you may have not seen before for hardware switchers. And then, of course, we have a series of supported microphones, and that list keeps growing and growing. And if I go to the next slide, it'll tell you a little bit of kind of exactly how this works. So whether you're using one PTZ camera or a series of PTZ cameras throughout a room, you can create presets based on your audio zones. And with one of our integrated mics and our partners, whether it's a ceiling mic or a Nariva wall-mounted microphone like we have in the studio here, it'll follow based around the audio and the speakers in the room. So like I said, it could be with one camera, it'll switch between presets, or it could be a series of cameras that you're switching to if you're using one of those switchers in our hardware partners. Alrighty. Last but not least, we have poll number 3. So we want to know, we just showed you the snapshot mode. We're curious, what do you think of the snapshot mode? Would you guys use this for still imagery? And just tell us a little bit about what you thought of that mode. I'm curious to see.
Is that just for the Move 4K? It's not for the Move SE?
So it was newly added. I would have to double check. I'm assuming it would be for the Move SE as well. I'm glad you brought that up, Paul, because there is a new update for the Move SE as well. We're not really highlighting it because there are not as many additional features like will you see with the Move 4K. But let me double check here for you. Yep, snapshot mode is available on the Move SE.
Good.
So if you want to see all of the updates, we're trying to cover as much as we can for the live show. But we have the change logs for both the Move 30X 4K and the Move X 30X SE. And those are right in the video description on YouTube.
Nice.
So you can get access to that as well. All right.
This is great. I feel like we're learning as well.
I know.
Everyone's learning together on this one.
Snapshot mode was new, but that's very exciting. And Paul, I feel like I've heard you talking about this for a while. So
Yeah, I've been wanting the Stream 1 Snapshot
You're definitely the reason why we
while.
have this. Yeah.
Honestly, this firmware made me feel really good because there were several ones where I was like, I've been asking for that for a while.
Well, everyone taking the poll, you better say that you will use the new snapshot feature.
Yeah, if everyone says no, you're going to make me look really bad. No, it's okay. Be honest. It is kind of like a niche thing. It's like, there's photographers out there that want to thinking, oh, do I need a live streaming camera? Oh, it can take pictures too. It's like depending. Definitely. And also, people are saying yes.
The majority is yes.
Okay, good. Because I also want to say, by the way, a lot of people think, oh, well, here's a question that we didn't answer, and we could do this later. I know we're kind of going over time, but what is the quality of these images, right? It's a JPEG.
Yeah.
Well, there's now a lot of AI tools for upscaling images and improving the quality of images and enhancing images. So I think a PTZOptics camera is a really good option for remote photography and for a lot of different sports photography applications. And don't be worried if it's only a 1080p or a 4K image. You can upscale now with AI to a 4K image to be a billboard size.
Wow.
Which is what, these DSLR cameras can do, like 50 megapixel images and stuff. Now with AI, you can use a live streaming camera to do a lot of that same type of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. Why buy another camera or another tool when you can just get more out of the current camera or tool that you have? Alrighty, before we finally wrap up, I just want to let you guys know there's a awesome page that can help kickstart your project. If you're online on your desktop, you can go to that URL, or you can scan it if you're on your phone watching from home. This will show you a little bit of a map of all the different resellers across the world that we offer and partner with. So this is a great opportunity to just kind of jump in and see what's closest to you if you're interested in PTZOptics.
And as the international channel manager, I have to chime in and say that this snapshot is the United States, but it does cover the globe. So any projects that are outside of North America, you can reach out to me.
Yes.
I should include like an interactive 3D model where you can
make a
scroll
video on
throughout
that,
the whole world. Yeah. Apologies. You can see Cuba, Puerto Rico down there a little bit up in Canada, but depends what you consider.
You need to add someone in Mexico.
Yeah, our where to buy map, I will say if you're looking at this for international, we don't have as many resellers noted on the map, but we do have them. Okay. So again, it's just a matter of reaching out to our international sales team, and we can also connect you with the correct partner.
Cool.
All righty. So the next page is just a quick, if there's any additional questions or if you're looking for something, whether it's workflow related, whether it's the new firmware or the IBC show that we were just at in Amsterdam, let us know if you have anything in the comments for us. We'll throw it up on the screen, or if you have anything in Zoom, our amazing team behind the scenes will let us know if you have any questions in Zoom as well. So we'll give you another minute. If not, after this, we'll go right into our trivia.
Trivia. I love to see who's been listening the best, who knows the most about this. Some of these questions are tricky too. And
Ooh, I love
sometimes
a
I'm
trick
like,
question.
they're trick. There's always a trick question or two. I don't know if John does that on purpose or not.
I'm gonna say yes. When in doubt, yes. All right. Sounds like Mike says there's a comment coming through.
Oh, okay. What would you use Snapshot mode to capture a thumbnail icon for clickbait images? Yeah, now you can do high resolution clickbait. For
Yeah, if you really want to.
images. But no, seriously, you can actually set up like automations to take an image every second or once a minute, because a lot of times, like for sports, for example, you don't know exactly when, they're going to score a goal, right? So
No.
it's nice to just have video, but also it's nice to have like a collection of images where you can quickly get them out to social media. So I think it's a really cool feature.
Yeah, it really is, and allows you to. I love the use of AI too when you start to build your own models, and you can. Yeah, it's
You can
endless.
post a request to the camera, and it instantly sends back an image. So if you're an AI model, right, and you're like, oh, what is in this image, or for I guess healthcare gets better, right? If you see this, stop the surgeon from cutting. You know what I mean? And it's literally like, boom. Like that's the way AI works, right? Like the AI, it would be too expensive to send every frame 4K 60 frames a second of video. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
But if there is a healthcare model that's referencing, a model built for surgeries, you just send it every second. Hey, here's an image. Everything looking good. Everything looking good. Wait, everything's not good. Stop. You know what I mean? Things like
Snapshot
that.
saving lives.
I might be taking it a bit too far, but those are the types of things you could do. Is it possible to move the PTZ camera fluently, adjusting the speed of the camera, rotating the change of the tilt of Superjoy?
So zooming and tilting at the same time?
If that's what they're asking, you can do that.
Yeah, I believe so.
And also on the Superjoy, there's speed buttons. So you can set unique speeds for pan, tilt, and zoom. So for example, if you want it to be super slow, you just slow that speed down. By default, it's going to be variable, right? So if you move the joystick a little bit, it'll move slowly. If you move it a lot, it'll go quickly. It looks like Mike's doing a little zooming right now. Good job, Mike. And then, so there's speeds for zoom, right? So if you want to zoom slow, you can set a slow zoom, twist it slowly. If you want to zoom out real fast, you would twist it to the maximum. So it is variable in that sense.
Yeah, it's really fun to mess around with. As soon as you like your son, for instance, Soka, as soon as he sat down with everyone loses their mind over a joystick.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
a video game, right?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun too.
Yeah, we occasionally would get out there on the field and kind of mess around and make little productions of local sports and all sorts of different things nearby. But anyway, before we keep you guys too long, let's jump into some trivia. Mike, if you show my screen here, we can get right into it. So you have 45 seconds to join. Scan the code, or you can go to crowd.live and type in our code there.
I'm going to play, guys.
Whoa.
I'm getting in on this.
Ooh,
If
I-
I win,
That's some insider
if
trading
I
over
win,
here. What is that?
We'll give it to the next person, but I'm getting in on this. Oh my gosh, you have to give your email.
You better
All
get
right,
in quick.
20 seconds.
Accept
I'm
all the
in.
Gosh, oh
cookies.
gosh.
I do think that we should, I hope this is enough time because I know there's a delay on YouTube,
I didn't even think about that.
but I think it's okay. That's why we have Zoom, by the way, because it is quicker. Did you get in?
I did with 3 seconds to spare.
Okay.
All right. You want to read the questions, Paul?
Well, no, you go ahead, John.
What product won the Best of Show award from TVB Europe at IBC? Come on.
Okay. Was it A Hive Studio? We briefly mentioned this. I don't even think we.
We
Yeah.
did. We did because
did. We
John
had a
called it a
moment.
little award and I
Yeah,
mocked
and you
him.
called me
okay.
out
Got
for
a
it.
big
You had to
award.
embarrass me in front of all these people. Yeah. All right. You have 3 seconds.
Okay, what was it?
And the answer is, I forget how to show the answer.
It's
That
on
might
the bottom
help.
right over there. You see
Oh,
that?
thank you. Okay, there we go. The answer is
92% got that right.
A.
Good.
That is correct. All right, question
Okay.
number 2. PTZOptics allows you to upgrade their camera's firmware for free. Is that true or false?
Also, you can show the leaderboard every once in a while. I like to see
There
how
we
how
go.
badly I'm beating everyone.
True or false? Do we offer free firmware, or do we charge for our
Can you show the
firmware?
leaderboard?
Yeah, the actual
Should be one of those
leaderboard.
buttons
Yep,
down there.
I see here the ranking leaderboard.
Oh, Chris!
Chris W.
Chris!
Wow.
Oh,
Congrats.
dang!
I guess it has to do with how quickly you respond.
It does.
Too.
Yes.
You
Okay.
have to be
Okay.
quick.
Okay.
Yes, I
The
forgot
quicker
to
the
tell you
better.
that. So
I can't
glad
even.
to
I
tell you.
Chris. Now it's on, Chris. Okay. I didn't know. We were getting. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Mike's telling you step it up, Paul. All right, the answer
Trying
is
to move
A.
quick now.
True. Yes, PTZOptics does not charge for our firmware, unlike some companies. I should have made that a question. What company did John
No,
call out?
don't say that.
A, B, C, P. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, question number 3. What does presenter lock mode do on a PTZOptics camera? What does presenter lock mode do? So this is a feature that has been renamed to presenter lock. We talk about presenter lock a lot and in the past. Let's see what most of you are answering. Number B, 79% with 2 seconds left.
Up on the
The
leaderboard.
answer is
Is Chris still
B.
beating me?
And yeah, you want to take a look at the leaderboards? It's
Chris!
Chris. Paul's at number 4,
Oh,
Silk at number 5.
Silka, Number 5.
Come on, catch up. You
I
guys gotta
am.
be
Hey, I'm closing the
faster.
gap.
Yeah, you are closing the
Catching
gap.
up.
Question number 4. What major upgrade was made to the NDI protocol?
NDI support was removed for better performance. NDI 5 was upgraded to NDI 6 for enhanced credit. Oh, that's what it is. Oh, shouldn't say that. Sorry.
And
Oh.
legacy support for C. Paul giving everyone the answer, but still
no,
not good
too
enough.
slow. Silka. Oh, no, wait. I'm beating you.
Yeah, you got the
You're
third.
beating me. I've been too slow. I didn't realize it was based off of speed in the
Yeah,
beginning.
we should have mentioned that.
Alrighty, and the correct answer is B. Great job, everybody. Question number 5. What feature replaces hybrid zoom in the video settings? What feature replaces hybrid zoom?
Ultra zoom, optical extension.
This is a little bit of a tricky one because I didn't
Super zoom.
like explicitly really say this out loud on the stream.
I actually am not sure if I'll get this right.
The live-
Oh, John, you confused people.
ultra
zoom?
Luckily, I
Me.
knew.
It's good. It's always good to confuse people.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Now Sam's definitely gonna win.
I'll botch the last one if I'm
Or
winning.
Chris. I think
And
Chris
the
was
correct
winning.
answer is super zoom.
All right, let's
Okay,
see
so
the
that got a
leaderboard.
good amount of people. Show the leaderboard.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Ah,
This is rigged.
Wait,
can't
I dropped
believe
down
this.
to
Coming
10.
for you,
Oh
Lee.
no, Silka is 10. Come on.
All right, now I feel bad. I gotta go.
All right, question number 6. What does the new tilt lock option do during auto tracking?
Locks vertical movement so the camera only tracks horizontally.
Does it freeze all motion tracking? Does it prioritize the tilt over pan and auto tracking?
We live in a very technical market, so like there's a lot of technical terms here that you're
Oof. I didn't get a lot
throwing
of-
out.
Leading with A here. And the correct answer is A.
Nice
Great
job,
job.
everyone who answered A.
Question number 7. What new preset numbers were introduced to control auto tracking on and off? So you can use this with a serial controller. You can use this with your IR remote. You could use this in the web interface. There's
Oh,
just
yeah.
particular presets to turn on tracking and off tracking.
See, the thing I like about this is like it really could makes people think about like the presentation. Richard jumping
Wow.
in and Garrett.
Big
Good job,
jump.
guys.
Alrighty. And that is correct. The answer is C. Great job, everyone. All right, question number 8. What functionality has been added to the USB output settings? I mentioned this really quickly when I got into the beta firmware. What could it be? Richard's still in first here. Paul trailing behind.
This is a
And
tough one. But
our
yes,
live
you can
answers.
now define the video output resolution.
That is correct. B, you can define the USB video output resolution. Great. It makes it easier to plug and play and instantly switch your USB output. All right, question number 9. What is the purpose of the new bright mode under exposure settings? Is it to boost your color saturation when you're outside? Is it to enhance low light handling by optimizing exposure for darker environments, or to enable HDR for high contrast?
All right, I am committed to making a comeback here.
Oh, Silka with the comeback. Okay.
I think you only got 1 or 2 questions left.
All right, let's look at the leaderboards. Richard's still in first.
Oh.
The answer is B. Great job, everyone. Now the final question, who can win? How does the new one-push exposure feature function? So what does this new one-push exposure do for the Move 4K? It's
Wait.
interesting.
There's 2 in the same here, John.
Let's see.
Uh-oh, John.
Oh, no. That's interesting.
Is it A or is it B?
Hopefully both A and B are right. Hit a little star next to the A there, John. In the software, and then they'll both be right.
Well, this is totally on me because I should have triple checked. Because the answer
They're
is
all wrong, right?
They're all wrong. Yeah, there is no answer that's listed here, because what one push exposure does is trigger an exposure once based on your current environment.
What you meant to do probably with
So
C.
I meant to do such a trick question, Paul. I don't know what you mean.
It's
I
getting a
totally
little too
did not.
tricky in
Okay,
here.
John.
Totally did
You're
not.
putting
mean
in
to
the
do
extra
this.
effort just to put this all together, so you get a pass.
Well, thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you, everyone. Let's show the
I appreciate
leaderboard.
it.
Someone won.
Oh
it.
yes. I have to show the leaderboard because
I'm guessing it's Richard.
and the winner. Let's
The winners
see.
are Chris.
Chris!
Oh no,
Third
Paul, you better
place.
not be in second.
I think I might be because there was no winner.
Oh no.
Yes.
Cheating. Cheating.
But wait.
Richard takes it.
Good
Richard, you
job.
win.
Congratulations, Richard.
Congratulations.
A Hyde Studio license. Great job. I'm sorry
All
to
right.
everyone that Paul pushed out of the rankings. I'm so sorry about that. Well, thank you, everybody. We are live at the end of every last Wednesday of the month. This is kind of an early one for us, but we appreciate it. And thanks for tuning in as always. Silka, I'll throw it over to you. If you could tell the wonderful folks at home what you do here and give them a little goodbye.
Of course. Yeah. So Silka Brown, I'm the international channel manager from our sales team. And it was really great being a guest here on the live show. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for joining, Paul. And if you guys need anything at all, you can reach out to me at jon.roberts@PTZOptics.com. And thank you, everybody. We'll see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye now.